My friend John wants to talk about consciousness. One of my YouTube camera pal. We go back and forth on certain issues. He was asking how far down does consciousness go. Scott Mandecker's got some pretty far out videos. They're very interesting though. The guy's obviously a genius, even though he can be pretty far out at times too. So it makes you kind of want to believe some of this far out stuff when you hear someone as brilliant as he is talk about it all. But John was bringing up the question, how far down does consciousness go? He sees cats, playing with each other and pulling their punches and all. You know that they're conscious to a degree. I mean, the last cat I had, it's the most gentle soul I've ever seen. He never would scratch my face, even if, even if it meant not being able to hold on. Tremendously, careful about not hurting me, unlike some other cats I've had in deep past. So, I certainly think our cats and dogs certainly have a good deal of consciousness. I brought up Scott Mandecker because he was talking about third density and second density, and animals and plants are like second density. A lot of the religions and a lot of people believe, I don't know if I should say religions or not, but a lot of people believe in minerals having a certain form of, if not consciousness, a certain form of vibration. I've known at least a half dozen women who are really into gems and rocks and use them, for meditation aids or just to have on them. The crystal movement's very big. Some people believe that consciousness, a form of consciousness even resides in minerals. I don't really know where to put that and where you divide the molecule of rock from the rock itself from the mountain, Where's that unit of consciousness? Maybe the unit of consciousness that an animal or a human makes, being isolated and disconnected, and independent, maybe that's kind of an illusion too. But kind of a related topic to the whole thing, I've been thinking a lot about a TV show that's on lately called not Person of Interest, that's a good show too, but Almost Human. And Almost Human puts you in a future world where androids are kind of running amok, or robots or whatever. And they've got robots that are indistinguishable virtually from a human. You could even buy yourself a sexual partner, kind of a black market trade on some of that going around too, and everything else going on in that show. But the police robots originally were were populated by these people who had robots that had sort of they call it an artificial soul or something like that. And I don't really want to tell the whole story about the show. It's not really where I'm going with this anyway. But if you could build a robot that has emotions, can carry on a conversation, can have empathy, emotions, the whole ball of wax, relating to other humans, emotional, empathetic, intelligent conversations between you and the robot. At what point is that creature alive? At what point is that unit a creature? Do you have to be biological to be alive? I know on the Art Bell show they were always saying, they were always predicting that in the future we'd have robots that were so advanced with such an advanced mind that they'd give us immortality. We'd transfer our spirit into the robot and then there was this big dark thing about don't go into the machine, don't do it. That when the opportunity comes, don't do it. Lose your soul. A lot of questions there, What is a soul? Can a machine have a soul? A lot of people give their cars names, and give their cars a personality. Is there a point where a robot, if it had, total social, totally socially, able to go into a human population and totally blend in emotions, empathy, a sense of right and wrong, at what point does it have a soul? At what point does it have a life? At what point is it more than simulated life? And then going down the chain in biology, like John was saying, he can't imagine an earthworm having much of a consciousness. And I was going to try to find from a Gordon Haskell song called Worms from his album It Is and It Isn't. But I couldn't find it on YouTube. I found many other tracks in that album, but I couldn't find that one. But the chorus in that song is, no one's more important than the earthworm. No one's more important than an earthworm. I really wondered about all that. At what point is a living thing consciousness? To me, it's different forms, different layers of consciousness. Would be my answer to it. My cop-out answer. But it really begs the question to me. That whole show, Almost Human. At what point are you human? At what point, is there a point where a non-biological could be considered alive? Could be considered to have a soul? Is biology itself that makes us spiritual, makes us individuals? It's a tough question if you start to think about it.